In this video, I'm going to show you how to set what type of sensors you programmed into each zone for motions and for door sensors. What you need to do is press the sensor button on your keypad. If prompted for your code, go ahead and enter your 1, 2, 3, 4 followed by pound. If it goes right into this menu here, or after you enter your code, press 8. And in number 8 here, you're going to see scrolling up and down using the 2 and 8 button, you can go through all your zones. Your zone numbers are up top here. The sensor number in the order that you programmed it's over here. So pay attention up here. That's your zone number. And you will need to know which zone you program what type of sensor into. So in this example, my door sensor is in zone 1 and my motion detector is in zone 2, PIR. And it should say over here what type of sensor it is if you programmed it right, door sensor or PIR. But that's not that important. What's important is what's going to be to the right of the 0, 2 or the 0, 1, whatever zone number. So let me just show you how it works incorrectly real quick if it's not programmed right. In the bypass mode, this is for when you're at home. The ARM mode here, that's for when you're away. So in the bypass mode, it should bypass all motion detectors, leaving all your door and window sensors active. And in the ARM mode, for when you're away, all sensors should be active. So I'm just going to show you real quick. If you arm it in the bypass mode, I'm going to turn the motion upside down because I purposely have it programmed wrong. Enter my code to arm it. That's because my motion picked me up. Let me just arm it again.
Please input password.
Okay, so now it's armed in the bypass mode or for when you're at home. So for here, when you open the door sensor, you see the blue light came on. There's no alarm because I have it programmed wrong. And for the motion, although it should be bypassed when you do the bypass mode, when I flip it over here, you're going to see it's actually going to trigger the alarm when it picks up motion. I'll manually trigger it by pressing the tamper and letting it go. And I'll just disarm it right here. Okay. So what we're going to do to fix this is we're going to go press the sensor button, enter your code if prompted, followed by pound. Then press 8 to get into this menu. And find the zone number you need to change. So if zone 1 is my door sensor, what I need to do is change this arm to say delay. Regardless if you're going to have a delay or not, it needs to say delay. So arm, to do this, press the 4 and 6 together. And you press it a couple times. Eventually, you'll see it will say delay. This means that it's a door or window sensor just like this one here. If your door or window sensor looks different, you're going to program it the same way, but this one specifically has to be programmed this way. The other thing is when you learn the sensor, you have to learn it by opening the sensor, because this sensor sends 3 different signal types: open, closed, and panic. So we need to make sure it's learned properly too. Once you do that, that you're all set for the motion, we'll just go back in the sensor menu. Again, if prompted, just enter your 4-digit code, followed by pound. Press number 8. And we're going to scroll up to zone 2. You do, again, need to know what zone numbers. And you can see it's a PIR. It was programmed right, but it says ARM. So we need to make this say ARM bypass. So press 4 and 6 together until you see ARM bypass on the screen. And there you go. It's now a type ARM bypass. That means when it's armed in the bypass mode, the motion detector will be deactivated. And with the door and window sensors will still work. So we can exit out of programming. And now we're going to test it. Press the backspace and 7 button so to do the bypass.
Please input password.
Enter your 4-digit code followed by pound. And you can see it now says bypass arm or arm bypass. And the motion detector picks up movement here. You can see the light flashing. It's a little hard to see. I'm going to press the tamper and let go to manually trigger it. It is not triggering the alarm. So the motion's now working right. And for the door sensor, if you trigger the door sensor by moving the magnet away, you'll see it will trigger the alarm.
Please input password. Hold this on.
Okay, and we'll just test it in the away mode real quick. I'll use the remote because it's easier. And for the motion, you can wave in front of it, and there you go. And lastly, I'm going to flip the motion over so it doesn't pick us up. And I'll test the door sensor. So I'll arm it in the away mode. I accidentally pressed it 2 times, so it should have only beeped once. But it's in the away mode, and you can see it says just arm, which tells you that. And then I'll go ahead and open the sensor up. And disarm the alarm. And you can see it now. I now fixed it that it's working properly. And that's how you do it. So you do just need to go into the sensor button, enter your code, option 8, and then just scroll through here. And you're just going to change which zone numbers you need to be what type of sensor. So delay, by the way, if you do want a delay on your window and door sensors, all you have to do is set that and check our delay setting to do that. Otherwise, if you don't need a delay, by default, there's no delay and they'll all be triggered instantly. And your motion detectors will only work when you arm it in the full alarm for when you go away, and will not trigger in the bypass mode. That's how you change your sensor type.